a chess piece or is it a pawn? Dan Orlovsky with us now. Hey, Dan, good morning.
Good morning. What's going on?
What's going on, big boy? How you doing, man?
I'm great, bud. How's LA? Warm?
It's cool. It's cool. It's not that warm. It's not that warm. A little
No,
brisk.
it's kind of the same as New York, to be honest with
brisk
you.
and relatively gray skies, but it's okay. It's all right.
All right. Great
All
to
right.
have you with us, Dan.
I'm not
brighten
feeling
the
that
day.
haircut at all, but I'll leave it alone today.
My
It's
haircut
over.
looks amazing.
No. I said the haircut, no.
What?
I can barely
my guy
see it,
Sean, My guy Sean cleaned it up nice.
No,
Looks
Elvis
good.
Presley is dead.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Elvis Presley is
That
dead.
haircut looks good.
Okay. All right.
Dan, you look great. All right. Stephen A.
I won't ask him about his left eye. It looked like somebody hit him in the eye, but we'll leave that alone for another day. Let's go.
Gosh, nothing gets past you.
Nothing gets past me.
How can you see my eye that well?
That's right.
You're like the mean girl in school.
We're here to persevere. We persevere.
Have you ever seen that movie,
persevere.
Mean
Yes,
Girls?
I did.
You need to
Yes,
watch
my
that with
daughters
your
have me watching
daughters.
it.
Yes.
They already made me
That's
watch
you,
it.
the bully.
Yes.
Stephen
Never
A.,
that, never
should
that.
OBJ
Persevere.
be mad about his medical information being leaked? Because that's
Well,
a huge violation.
I personally believe so. You know, it's kind of predictable. The fact of the matter is that if you're Odell Beckham Jr., the only thing that I would get on him about is why are you acting surprised? This is what teams do. The reality of the situation is that you're looking for a job. To be an extraordinary talent, which you are, when healthy, if you can get you at a cheaper price because your leverage has been compromised, then that's something that somebody is going to do. That's called business. It's unfortunate, but it happens literally all the time. And unfortunately, it's very, very difficult to navigate your way around that. Having said all of that, it is a good point to be made. He is right about that because the reality of the situation is that his medical situation had no business of being released. I don't know who did it. I'm not accusing anybody specifically, even though his latest visit was with the Cowboys. ESPN, what does it say at the bottom? It says Cowboy source told him team is concerned about Beckham Jr.'s physical, I mean, Ed Werder is one of the elite insiders, particularly when it comes to the Cowboys. Yeah. And so he would know. Odell Beckham Jr. is a big boy. He's been around long enough to know that when you're an insider, you're going to get intel that most people in the public do not get, okay? I've been, long before I was on First Take, I was an insider for years, and I religiously got information that the average person couldn't get. This is what comes with the territory. But still in all, it doesn't make it right. And when you're trying to get another job, you're trying to be employed, you're trying to, land in the right team and what have you, it's kind of shady that this was leaked, but very, very predictable. And not to throw in, I'm not going to throw any shades on the Cowboys in this regard. Any team would have done that. Any team would have leaked the information from the standpoint of, okay, we're not satisfied physically. We got questions about his physicality. And even Jerry Jones walked in before he saw before he saw Odell Beckham Jr., lamenting, or rather expressing concern and apprehension about the state of affairs as it pertained to his health. So all of those things obviously may serve to compromise Odell Beckham Jr. I don't blame him for not being happy about it, but don't act like it's a particular team. It's the Cowboys. Any National Football League team who has somebody covering them and there's an insider associated with the team, that information is going to get leaked. You can book it.
Dan, give us the former player's perspective here.
If it's true, I don't understand the issue. If the medical doctors in Dallas, their doctors and/or staff have said that they're not confident in his knee right now, I don't understand the issue or what there is to be mad about it. Number one, the guy tore his ACL 10 months ago. A lot of people have talked about like he tore his ACL 2 years ago. It's 10 months since this happened. So it's the least shocking thing that there still might be some concerns over it. Second, the reason why I say, if it's true, it's not an issue is this, and it's directly correlated to the Cowboys, because to my knowledge, no one said anything when he went to his visit with the Giants and or the Bills. If they're the Cowboys, the reality would be this. If you don't sign Odell, the public, Stephen A., is going to want to know why. Why didn't you get the deal done? What are you waiting on? Why did this happen? And the reality is the Cowboys might feel that the knee is not healthy enough. So it's totally in their right to sit here and say, well, we aren't comfortable with where his knee is when it comes to his production or his ability to produce this year. And the second thing would be this. Jerry Jones has come out and said publicly, like, this is the year. We're going to do everything we can. No stone unturned. We got to go get it done this year. So if the knee is healthy or the Cowboys perceive it to be, then I find no reason why that they wouldn't sign Odell. The price point can't be an outrageous price point right now. He's 10 months removed from ACL surgery. So if the news of his knee not being completely healthy or 100% is true, one, it's not shocking because it happened 10 months ago. And two, then I don't see an issue with the Cowboys communicating that while we want him, he's not physically where we had hoped he would be or want him to be.
I'm going to push back on that just a touch with you on a serious note with this, Dan. You know all things are not equal. All things are not the same. He might deem himself healthy enough to be a contributor and a participant on the team in the weeks to come. Maybe not today, but we've got 5 weeks left to go in the season, and then you've got the playoffs. And so because of that, you're talking about anywhere from 6 to 7 weeks, which is close to 2 months, that he would have to be ready. He might believe he's ready to go. Some teams might say yes. Other teams might say no.
Sure.
And so in that regard, that's where I think he has a legitimate pushback. What one team laments, another team might say, we're cool with that. We don't think it's that big of a deal. We think it's doable. We think it can work. And he may think it can work. So when you express apprehension or reticence, and as a result, use that and deem that as a cause to pause and maybe not bring him on board your team, and then that's the information that gets out, it does raise the proverbial eyebrow. And basically it forces another team to say, okay, maybe there is some reason to be concerned here. Maybe we should think about this, give it a second thought or what have you. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.